Hi and welcome to my, I think 49th or 50th Trig Walk. We're starting at the village of Barrowden and we're going to be going to Luffenham Heath Trig Point. We're going to be doing roughly a 10-mile walk going through some lovely villages like Tixworth and well actually I can't remember all the villages, but as we go around there I'll be telling you all about them. But we're going to be starting at St Peter's Church, looking for the benchmark and see if we can get inside. If we can't get inside now, we'll pop back later on and have a look. But the views around here are really nice and we've got a lovely sunrise, and we've got a place just over there that I wouldn't mind visiting. And today I'm with Wayne. Steve was going to come but unfortunately he couldn't make it, but we're going to have a look for the benchmark now. This is St Peter's Church here in Barrowden. We're actually been quite lucky. The vicar just opened up and is showing Wayne round at the moment. So I'm going to join them in a second. Looks like we're going to get a proper history lesson today, whether we planned it or not. But my first impressions though, it's a lot brighter than I expected. It's quiet and airy inside, almost feels more modern than you'd think for a church this old. It's not dark and gloomy like some of that we've been into. The font really stands out well, solid, simple, and you can just make out the markings. Just think the generations that have stood right here. I'll have a quick look at the bell tower before I head over and we can join Wayne and the vicar and see what we can learn.
That's the chancel. So you've got a divide you can pass through. So you've got this world and the next. Quite hard to explain to a medieval illiterate peasant.
Well, we're medieval illiterate peasants, aren't we?
But I didn't like to say. But this is a bit of symbolism in the building, helps people understand. So there's this world and the next world, and that's where you've got the choir and the people in robes and it looks a bit heavenly. Help them to understand. And so when children are christened, they're brought to this arch. It represents the divide between this world and the next, and the promises are made before God and the people of God. When you get married, you stand here and make your promises at the brink of eternity. And when you come to the end of your life and you arrive in a box, this is where it's put, because this arch is the place where the promises are made and that mark out the periods of your life between heaven and earth. So it's a powerful piece of symbolism. The spire of this church was struck by lightning on 15th August 1915, the time of the Great War. It was repaired and rebuilt in 1950 and 1916. At the same time the bells were rehung. So they've got the Great War going on, an awful, terrible time. So how much they felt when they came along after a stormy night and saw that the church tower had come down and come through the roof of the church. Absolute disaster. And yet they managed to get it repaired and get it put back up. And what I really love, through all that awfulness, what's the conclusion they come to? But what are we going to tell future generations? Love one another. That's the conclusion they came to from all that difficulty. Love one another.
Well, they do like doing all the medieval graffiti.
Medieval graffiti. Someone from Barrowden in the 1600s drew around their little shoe, and that's it. And there's several of them.
It looks like a child or a lady. It's quite a small. And then people work.
Or contract or something.
So many boats.
I've never seen the feet before.
Yeah.
You get them on the roof because it's easy to carve in the lead by German prisoners of war. It's some sort of smelting industry. So I can't remember what they were smelting, but it was brought in on the train line, and so see all the lumps in the ground over there?
Yeah.
Prisoner
Oh,
of war camp.
oh, was it? I was going to ask you about that. I didn't know there was like some sort of medieval camp
So
or
you've got
something.
this incredibly peaceful scene now, but if you were here in 1914, they'd have had smelting, railway trains and a prisoner of war camp. It would have been very different centre of industry.
Oh, that's the benchmark at St Peter's Church in Barrowden. Like I said, I don't know how many are caught so far. When I say caught, I mean got so far. So this was a very interesting church that we visited. So this is the village of Barrowden with its duck pond, the Exeter Arms and St Peter's Church that we're just leaving. We're now going to be heading over to Wakerley. So as you leave Barrowden on Mill Lane, you turn left onto a public footpath and this will take you out to where it looks like flooded fields. It is believed that this footpath was a pack horse trading route which enabled craftsmen to transact business at this intersection with the River Welland at a rent of 40 shillings. It was also mentioned in a survey of the manor in 1315, the county border. This watermill site was first recorded in 1259 when William Mordit, the King of Chamberlain, leased it to Richard Gurbyne and was let at the same rent in 1526. In 1654, it belonged to John Earl of Exeter. The mill was almost certainly the early industry area which created the village of Barrowden. Okay, so we're now crossing over the River Welland. It's sort of definitely flooded today. I'm sure we'll come across plenty of flooded routes, but hopefully we can head down to, you can see the bridge just down there. Hopefully we can get onto the tracks, but we're going to head over to Wakerley and see the church over there. If you follow the path down this way for a while, you'd reach those chimneys we spotted from the church. Strange seeing them standing in the middle of a field, but even stranger when you discover the history behind them. Tall brick stacks rising from nowhere. They're not part of the railway arches, but calciner furnaces built by the German prisoners of war during the First World War to produce iron ore. The venture didn't last long, but the chimneys remained. But we're not going to see those because we're going this way. I just found out that little bit of the footpath was part of the Jurassic Way footpath. So once you've gone over the train line, there's a disused train line, you turn left into Wakerley. We're going to head up to the church now. Wakerley, or Wakerley, is so small it doesn't even appear in the Doomsday Book, which is the only village that we visited that doesn't actually come in the Doomsday Book. So as you head out to Wakerley, you'll see basically a footpath on your right hand side and some houses. It's not very easy to find, but you just turn right here and this will eventually take us to the church. That's an interesting find. An old street light, street lamp. It's not been refurbished and put back into action. The church here, St John's the Baptist, is a Grade 1 listed and conserved rather than active. St John was believed to protect against evil, and you can still look for the faint markings on the porch and the lower stones, which I say at every single church, but we never actually find it. But let's see if we can have a look round.
That's what the vicar told us at the last church. That these markings here, because Brian forgot, this is for people. I mean, that says 1731. There's initials and something there, but then some more initials. This is when people who either can't afford to pay for a wedding, so they can't get married in there, or they shouldn't be married for whatever reason, maybe different religions and faiths, I don't know. So they'll get married in here rather than in there, so that they had a church wedding basically, and that's their contract. That'd be their marriage contract.
St John the Baptist Church in Wakerley dates back to the 12th century. Built in the sturdy limestone from the surrounding valley, look closely and you'll see layers of medieval work shaped by centuries of worship, plague and quiet village life. Standing on the edge of the old forest of Rockingham, this church was watched travellers, drovers and pilgrims pass by for over the past 800 years. Yeah, read a passage. We're now going to receive a passage from Wayne.
To help you use 5 minutes in prayer. Be quiet still for a few moments and bring into your mind the fact that you are with God, who created the whole world, the beauty of sunshine and children, the productive power of industry and the peace of this church. Look at the cross on the altar and remember that you are with God, who made you and loves you. Now say this prayer. Pause at the end of each line. Lord, overshadow me with thy spirit. Make mine eyes to see, mine ears to hear, and then be merciful to the prayer for Christ's sake. Well, there's an interesting font. Got some nice carvings on here. And
We found out today as well that the lid is basically to keep all the dust out, so that's where the holy water would go. And it's been modelled by Wayne, and a nice bit of carving there. I haven't found any apotropaic markings on these churches, but there's some very interesting carvings. But now, time to head to the next church. So here's the benchmark at St John the Baptist Church in Wakerley. Another very old graveyard. But we've basically done 2 miles, so I've got 8 to go. So after you looked at the church, you see to your left hand side as you head out towards the field, you'll see a footpath. This is back on the Jurassic Way, and we head out here into the countryside again, and we turn left and we head to our next church, which I can't remember what it is at the moment, but I will be telling you. So we're just heading up here now. So at St John the Baptist Church, we've decided the footpath takes you across that field, but it's going to be way too muddy. I think we're both putting about a stone walking across the mud, so you're going to walk around the edge. So just head down here by the side of the church, and actually I think we can see the post just up there. Oh, after walking past the quarry, you're going along, I think this is a Wakerley Road, and you've got Wakerley, Spinney either side. When I looked on Google Street View, it's actually very quiet, but because you've got the quarry further down there, you have to watch out for all the, not the quarry lorries, because I think it's probably going to be a 7.5 ton weight limit, but you've got to watch out for all the service vehicles, the vans, the cars, and like that, so it's actually quite busy along here. Oh, we're just coming up to the A43 now. If you turn left to Duddington, we're going to be heading there eventually, but we're going to be going straight over to Top Lodge and Fineshade Wood, and there's a cycle hire centre down here. But there's also a picnic site down here. We're going to be stopping for a little bite to eat. But we've got to cross over this road first. Right, many disused train lines. I wanted to walk along this one, but as you can see, it'd be quite impenetrable to walk along there. So that's why I thought I saw somebody down there, but it's just a leaf. But that's why we came the way that we did up along this road. But we're not far from a little picnic spot. So it's just got to go up here, and there's toilets and all that sort of stuff. Just at Fineshade Wood. So now at Fineshade Visitor Centre, there's a cafe there. Convenient toilets. Nice place for a halfway stop. So once you leave the Fineshade Wood Centre, you head to the car park, and you see the path towards the back, and you pick up, I don't know what path you're going to take, but there's plenty of walks. I'm sure we take the wrong one. It's all leading in the same direction. So this is the Fineshade Woods, and we're going to be taking, well, I'll show you on the map later. Here's something interesting. So if you like the Gruffalo, got the mask from the Gruffalo. I wonder if I'll actually find the Gruffalo. But like they say, there's no such thing as a Gruffalo. But we might see the owl, the fox. Can't remember what else it is. I've not watched it for a little while. So all part of the Gruffalo Trail. There's the owl. I wonder if the last thing is going to be the Gruffalo. So you got to the tree house that way, but I don't know which way we're going. I'm going to have a guess at saying we're going to be turning right. We're actually doing the Gruffalo Sculpture Trail here. But as you can see, you've got the Smelters Walk. I think that's something to do with what we looked at earlier. Dalewood Walk, Millwood Trail, Family Cycle Route. So you ever come around here, there's plenty to see and do. There's the snake. Just over there is the gullet. Don't know why it's called the gullet. I'm very shortly beginning walking by Dumbob Spinney. And I think just up here, I don't know if there's toilets or something, but there's a building just down here. Obviously people with kids can't walk too far without having to come across a toilet. They've even got a nice little family cycle trail with some little skill loops, which one of them's just down there. So if you decide to come out and you want to take your kids on a little mountain bike trail, got one just down there. When you come to a T-junction, just follow the Gruffalo Trail. I don't know whether it's up there. Obviously I joked about it being toilets, but There's a building up there, probably be another cafe or whatever. Some money making thing, so they can charge an absolute bomb. So if you go down there, that takes you to a wildlife hide, which is also called the Gullet. So I suppose that's where you can watch birds around a pond down there, but we haven't got time for that today. So we're going to head on down here. So I don't know why this is called Dumb Bob Spinney, but we're walking through that at the moment. We're going to be back on the Jurassic Way in about another 5 minutes. We're going to walk through Cullington Spinney very shortly, which is just up there. Well, that's a bit close. We went past our turning. I checked the map about 5 minutes down there, realised we'd gone past it. So it's a bit hard to see, but this is the Jurassic Way. So we're going to turn left onto the Jurassic Way down here, and our next stop hopefully will be Duddington, or probably Tixover. I'm going to say Tixover then Duddington, but I'm going to be wrong. Once you pick up the Jurassic Way, the trail's not as easy to walk along as the previous path that we've been on. It's very squelchy, uneven, and you have to watch out where you put your feet. But we're going downhill, which is one good thing. Oh God, like I've just been saying, you have to watch out where you're walking. When you walk on the Jurassic Way, you come past Duddington gas plant, and also just behind us is the quarry around here, but we're going to carry on along the Jurassic Way. And like I said before, this is taking us up to Duddington, so we should be there within about another, say, 10-15 minutes. Oh, well, we're now going to be leaving the Jurassic Way and we're going to be picking up the A43. We're going to be turning right, but then we're going to be picking up the Jurassic Way again to Duddington, but this was the Bridle Way and also the Jurassic Way. So as you come into Duddington, you'll see the Royal Oak pub. We'll leave the A43 and head down here, which is going to be a lot quieter, and to the church. The village sits on the River Welland. In January, the river is higher and darker, which really emphasises why people once feared waterways around here. St Mary's Church, we're going to be visiting very shortly, is of Norman origins. We're going to have a look around the font and the chance archery for protective markings and imagine how villagers used to use these symbols to guard against spirits, body snatchers, as it was easy in the winter with the quiet nights and the river access. Duddington appears in the Domesday Book. It was already a settled village in 1086. The name comes from Dudder people, reminding that the village started as families, not allowed on the map. We're now going to head to St Mary's Church and do all the usual and see if we can actually look inside, which will actually be quite good, because the last time I went for a walk with Wayne, we only managed to see, well, we saw 4 churches, but we only managed to look inside one. We've been to 2 churches so far today. We've got 4 lined up, and hopefully we should be able to get in all of them. So straight up the path, and there's the benchmark at St Mary's Church in Duddington. It's a very old church, this. It's got those pins that keep the, what you call it, from collapsing, the tower from collapsing. I wonder if you can actually see any. So it makes you dizzy when you look up there, doesn't it? Yeah. Is that the Beaver Angel? I can't remember what the Beaver Angel looks like. That looks like the Beaver Angel. What's that, the Beaver Angel? I don't know what that means there. But HH4806 might be a contract, like the vicar at the last church says. St Mary's Church in Duddington, a Grade 2 listed parish church on the bank of the Welland, has stood here since the late 12th century. Replaced in an early wooden church recorded at Domesday, built in Norman early English style, it's a south-east tower with distinctive broad spires added to the 13th century. There's a nice stained glass window and the usual organ. Some plaques. Captain Christopher Goddard. Wayne's turning the lights out. Look at that. Wayne knows what he's doing. Makes it easy to see things now. Interesting, the key's set into the door. Literally nailed into the door. And so you've got a bracket there, and a nail just there. Okay then, as you leave the church, you head back down Todd's Hill and turn left down Church Lane and then along Mill Street towards the mill. This brings us to the mill at Duddington, which has stood here since 1664, but milling on this spot goes back much further, all the way to the Domesday Book in 1086, so for nearly 1,000 years there's been the sound of water and grinding grain here on the River Welland. The mill we see here today was built in 1664 for Thomas Sodden, and if you look closely you'll spot date stones showing later alterations in 1724 and 1793. Look at this, a nice little parish boundary marker on the bridge, which has probably been standing here for around about 300 years. As you can see, the bridge is made out of the same local limestone as everything else in the area. But we're now going to head this way and cross over the bridge, and hopefully on the right hand side down here, we should be dropping down onto the path that will follow along the River Welland. Wayne's just spotted an issue. It's flooded. The question is, how deep is it? It doesn't look too bad from here, famous last words. I think if we take our time, we'll get through it. There's only a bit of water after all. Right then, here we go. It's definitely deeper in the middle, but we're committed now. Nearly through. Yes, we've made it. As you can see, we decided not to go through the fields because it's actually quite boggy. So we're taking the highlands and we're going to be picking up the disused train line. The footpath that we're going to be taking is further down here, so we'll soon be on the original route. It's hardly surprised that I got this wrong. I've just checked and it turned out this isn't a disused railway line at all. It's actually an old footpath, possibly dating back to the medieval times. But like I said many times, I don't really claim to know what I'm talking about. I'm just interested in learning as I go along. Now there should be a yellow way marker along here somewhere. Once you found the yellow way marker, which I somehow forgot to film, you cross the field and it brings you out onto this little unnamed road. From here you can follow the path, which I just noticed is actually part of the Leicestershire Round, but we're going to go this way instead, mainly because I'm getting sick of the mud. The place you see just there is the Tixover Off-Road Centre. It used to be a working limestone quarry, but it's now closed down and used for people to have fun in their 4x4 vehicles. Not much further past the quarry you turn left down Barrowden Road. As you can probably tell from the name, this is the final stretch of the walk. The road runs gently across the countryside, and somewhere about a mile down here is the trig point we're heading for. Hopefully it won't be too hard to find, but we'll soon see.
So this is Fox Covert, and Barrowden Road is a lot quieter than when we were sort of walking from Wakerley Road with the quarry and that, with all the cars along there. This is really nice along here, and there's another gas plant just there. Fox Covert, a quiet little pocket of woodland that feels older than it looks. Once used for cover during the hunts, it's now a haven for wildlife. Foxes, birds and deer move silently through the trees. A small place but full of hidden life and countryside atmosphere. Oh well, I'm losing count on all this lot, and also I'm usually getting tired by the time we get to this point, but I think that's my 50th or 51st trig point. It's also my 50 or 51st trig walk. So like I said before, sometimes I'll get 1 or 2, sometimes 3 trig points on a trig walk, but this is the Luffenham Heath Trig point. As you can see, I'm going to say this nice and slowly. That's the spider, all intact. That's the plate, BMS 6793. It's in good condition. It's dead easy to find. It's got something on the side there saying David Holness or Holliness in there. David Holmes on there. The view round here, you've got the A46 there. It's absolutely lovely, dead easy to find. Pardon?
A47.
Yeah, you got the A47 just over there. We've got a farmer probably over there. I can see he's pointing a shotgun at us. An angry farmer. But like I say, that's our 48th trig point. I will put it down in the descriptions at the bottom of my video. We're coming back to the A47 that we've got to cross. In fact, I think we want to be quick here. And you've got the sign there, Barrowden, 1 mile, Wakerley, 1.5 miles in the community shop. So it's just going to head down here, as you can see, 1 mile back to the car. There's another World War II pillbox. Unfortunately, we haven't got time to go to it, and it doesn't look like the easiest place to actually get to. So we're now on Tixover Road. As you can see, the sun is getting quite low in the sky. Hopefully we'll be back in time before it gets dark. We've literally got about a mile and a half, so we should be back within 30 minutes.
But as you can see just over there, the sun glistening on the cars going up the A43. That's back over at Duddington. We came all the way around there, up there. Been a nice little walk. So that's the Exeter Arms. Oh well, we're back. We visited 3 churches, the one at Barrowden, Wakerley and at Duddington, and we've visited the Luffenham Heath Trig point. We've done about 11 miles. Now we're going to stop at the Exeter Arms for a nice refreshing pint. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Until then, goodbye.